all know that.
Are you saying that I'm not a fake homesteader, James?
I am saying she's 100% certified.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
Rachel K. Nelson. Kylie Bowman.
I'm sorry, Okay, so we've got to get fresh bedding for in here. They're eating, and we do put the food together because the babies are training to eat with the mamas. So all babies now are eating hay, grain, and nursing from mamas or nursing from their bottles. Lots of growth here on the farm. Well, it was kind of cold. You get up here and start sweating, don't you? I know, it's like this. So hey guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Welcome back to the channel. We want to thank you so much for all of your support all of the time. I have a special guest tonight, Mr. Christmas himself. Honey, I have to say, this is working for you. This is working really, really well. Yeah. So here's the deal. So we've had a wonderful weekend. We had a great graduation for our son. We've had a lot of family time together. We saw a Christmas play, and we're getting ready for the holidays. And so I'm going to be doing lots of videos, some cooking and some ornament stuff coming up this week because our schedule will ease up just a hair. But I want to address this topic because it kind of touches upon everything that a lot of you are also experiencing, which is the economy. And I had a really nice young gal. I assume she's pretty young. She seemed young. She said she was a young mom, farmer, homeschooling mom. She asked me, and I'm going to pull you in on this, honey. We always like to hear your perspective. She wanted to know what we thought, or I thought, I guess, you too, as far as her starting a new business this year, a farm. But now she was very specific. She said like a farming type business. So we're going to get into the meats and potatoes on this and tell you what we think, and you know, do what works best for you. But we have a little bit of experience with this, so we think we can help you out. Okay, so we just finished up our barn chores, and I thought this would be a good time to kind of tackle this. It might get a little loud in here, but welcome to the farm business, right? So this is a little bit tough of a subject to give advice on because it's sort of, we don't mind having an opinion, but it does leave us to broad brushing our advice to anybody because we don't know your particular situation. We don't know your finances. We don't know what your spouse makes. Not that that's our business, but we don't know what specifically somebody is wanting to do as far as a farm business. I don't know if you mean a YouTube channel, if you mean selling things on Etsy, if you mean going to the farmer's market. I mean, there's 100 different ways we can talk about this. So we're going to keep it very generic and always encourage you to do your own homework and to do what works best for you. My personal advice, just if you were my grown child or my sister, how would I advise you? And James is going to do the same. His might be a little bit different. It always is than mine. But I personally am going to tell anybody out there, regardless of what business you're talking about, I would give it another year. I would get through all of 2024 before I ever stuck my neck out and started a business. Now, with that, I do realize, because I don't know what all that, you're so tall, honey, I can barely, I'm like, I know. You know, I just know that for a lot of people, when they start a business, especially if they're already very busy with a farm, being a wife, raising kids, homeschooling, that your time is very precious, and so are your resources, okay? So there's that, but also I just think right now, generically, I wouldn't advise anybody out there to start a business of any sort until we get through at least the next year.
Why is that?
Well, I think we're going into a depression of some sort. I already believe we are in a recession. I believe resources and discretionary spending for most people is pretty much limited or zero. I think you have to know your business model, so therefore I can't answer that. But I am the least risky person. I'm not risky business. He's kind of more risky business. I'm not risky business. So here is what I'm telling people. You say what you think is best, but my take right now is that people need to be in survival mode. So that means you need to be guaranteed that you can make your bills and that you have income and that you are not going into debt. If you are going into the next year or possibly two, with all that we know about the economy, the last thing that I'm going to tell somebody is to do anything that is risky and that could absolutely put them into debt. Now, if you're going to sit here and tell me, well, all I need to do is get this and this, and it's going to cost me maybe $200 or $300, I have no overhead and I'm going to go for it, okay, you're probably going to be okay. Even if you don't succeed or if things are slow for you, you're not at a high-risk category for going bankrupt or losing a lot of money. If you are trying to look for ways to make money, I would rather encourage people to try to think of ways to make money with less risk. Take on a part-time job. Maybe the husband can take on a little bit of extra time on the weekends. Is there tutoring you can do? I know people can start all kinds of things online with minimal, I started my YouTube channel with my kids' iPod. 2 of them. Didn't make a dime for a long time. I totally admit that to everybody. I didn't even know what monetization was, but it took me a long time to get there. So you have to weigh out what are your goals, but as far as looking at a absolute scratch from the ground business, regardless of what business it is, I would wait a year. I would plan really well, and I would see if you can save money or be more frugal to save money, whatever that means for you. But there is no way right now I would advise anybody, especially if you have children and you don't have an income at this point, you have one income, meaning your spouse, there is no way that I would encourage you at this time to take that risk. Okay, baby, I'm not going to say anything unless I think of a question. I'll shut up. Go ahead.
Yeah, so fundamentally, I agree with Patara. If you're going into a business that's going to leverage your house or your income or any material items that you have in order to secure a loan to start the business, that's really, really not good advice at this point with the way the economy is for several reasons. People don't appear to be buying as much, so you're fighting against that. Interest rates are more expensive to maintain the loan, so your payments on that loan are going to be higher for the same amount of money that you could have gotten a couple years ago. So you're fighting that, and then you have to really assess if the business fails, where does that leave you? And if it leaves you in big financial trouble, then I think you know the answer already, and you just got to make that wise decision. As she said, if you can get a part-time job, because if the business is to make extra money, then part-time job's a much better way to go in the current economy that we're in right now.
Well, not only in addition to what you just said, a lot of folks now can't even, small businesses and a lot of different people can't even get loans right now. You may not have, I don't mean this bad, but you may not have good enough credit to even secure something like that. That's what I'm saying. My focus in what I'm telling people is to be in what I call in my own little brain, survival mode, which is literally nest egging everything that you've got. Your food, your water, your medicine, your money, your assets, your resources, your security. To me, this is not the time. If you've got a lot of money or if you've been blessed with a huge inheritance and it doesn't matter to you, that's different, but that's like 1 in a million for most people. And especially for moms out there. If you are a mom, a stay-at-home mom with small children, and you're trying to help out the family, I just think we've already started talking about ways to try to be more frugal and saving money. Maybe just trying to work, 8, 10, 12, 15 hours extra a week for a while and just putting things away. And just continue to assess your situation. Because here's the thing, in 6 months from now, there's been times in my life, in your life, where I've wanted to do something, go somewhere, buy something, be something, I don't know. And I finally figured out when I said, okay, I want this, or I'd like to do this, and it just never seems to work out, or it was harder than it should have been. If I waited, it's sort of like God worked it out. Like I've always said, for when we have animals on the farm, I don't go looking for animals. They sort of, certain things like a livestock guardian dog. I pray about that and say, if I'm meant to have that, if that's supposed to work for me, God's going to make it happen. So I think that's the best approach, and I think you're going to get your answer more from there. But I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. I know a lot of people want to, do what they love, and they have dreams. But right now, my gut instinct tells me it's too risky.
Yeah, and you cannot go into something this serious with the hope that you will make it. Because hope is not a plan, and you need a rock solid plan before you do anything that would jeopardize your family finances. Because
even for a lot of people right now, if they say you tried it and you ended up losing money, to a lot of people, even if it's just a couple of $1,000s, some people that may not be a big deal. But for most people now, especially with children and a farm, if you got a bunch of critters to feed, your critters, 2-legged, 4-legged, whatever, a couple $1,000s, especially over a couple months or a year, that makes all the difference in the world for most people now. Yep. So that's my thoughts.
Mine too.
And, like I said, that's a broad brush. I'm trying so hard to get you both in here. That's my broad brush approach. Like I said, something online, something with YouTube, things like that can be different. But we're just trying to answer the most generic way that we can for everybody. Whatever is the least risk for you and secures your home is how you need to do it.
Just remember, when you do an online business, those have a tendency to take more time to start producing revenue for you. So be patient if that's the route.
What were you telling Bo last night about my work?
Oh, well, as you all know, she has a channel. You're watching us on her channel right now. And that is literally a 24/7 job for her. And most people don't realize that, but she's editing, filming on Saturdays, Sundays. It might be in the morning, it might be in the evening. It's whenever she has time available between running the actual farm, feeding the animals, doing all the chores with having a barn and animals, and maintaining our house and taking care of her kids and her wonderful husband. That takes a lot of time. You all know that.
Are you saying that I'm not a fake homesteader, James?
I am saying she's 100% certified. But remember, in all seriousness, this is not a 9-to-5. So don't go in with those expectations and you'll be okay.
All right, well, I guess we'll break it up here. It's kind of getting cool. I hope you guys are well out there. We appreciate all the comments and questions and checking in on us last night with the storms. All we got was, we got a lot of rain. We had some moments of some, a heavy thunderstorm. But all of those storms, we see you, Enoli, all of those storms kind of broke once it hits the plateau and the mountains. So we were protected in that way. But we do pray for Middle Tennessee. There's been a lot of devastation out there. Well, guys, we're going to break. We're going to go make some, you want hot cocoa?
That sounds delicious.
I know. All right, guys, everything on the farm is great. We're doing good. Lots of videos coming your way. Spend time with your family and friends. Get ready for Christmas. Do the things that you love, but secure your home big time starting yesterday. All right. Love you. Like, subscribe, and share. Guys, we'll see you this week. Y'all be good, and we appreciate you. Godspeed. Are you at my feet while I film a video, Coco? You sweet buddy. You're such a sweet, good boy.